My name is Brayan. I am 18 years old and I am a language student in the Unima University Institute. I am young, I am tall, my hair is black and curly. I am chubby. My eyes are brown. I have a medium nose, my face is square, my skin tone is tan, my ears are medium, I have a full lips and a large mouth. Sometimes I am very outgoing. Usually I am very friendly and funny, but if I am bothered, I can be very rude. I am always serious because I don't like to talk much when I don't know people. When I was younger, I was very lazy because I didn't like to do my homework. Today, I can say that I am very brave because I decided to take on the challenge of studying and working at the same time. I consider myself lucky to have a job. My experience at the university, I think it has been great because I have learned a lot about the grammar and phonetics of English, but it has also been difficult because I had a lot of trouble turning in my homework. It is been great because I have many new classmates and I think I get along with most or a lot of them. I would like to meet them soon. I also think my experience with my teachers is good. I have learned a lot of them, although the results in my grades are not the best or what I expected. I am satisfied with my performance because, in spite of not having the necessary tools, I was able to obtain a passing grade in most of my classes. My favorite singer is Jung, and he is 20 years old. He is tall and he is slim. His hair is black, he have brown eyes and oval. He have a long nose, he have a full lips, he have a large mouth, and he have a large ears. He is very friendly, likes to record songs with all artists, does not care about the music genre. He is very serious, always he is often grumpy when one of his songs is not like he is hardworking since a very young age. It is very generous. Last year that the earthquake occurred in Mexico, he donated many pantries for his state. He is young. He is 19 years old, he has a full lips, he has a small nose, his brown eyes, his hair is black and straight. He is the have a large ears and he have a large mouth. He is very vain. He takes great care of his physical appearance. Sometimes he is an unpleasant person. He is very rude. He does not respect his mother or the older adults. He is also very nasty. He hardly takes a bath and he smells very ugly. I still remember with emotion my first day of classes at the university. It was the first time that I traveled alone to the city. The night before that day, I fell asleep at the night to be able to rest because I had to get up very early in the morning. So it was I woke up at 5 o'clock, put my books in my backpack, made my bed, and took a bath. I didn't want to leave anything messy. When I came back from bathing, I ironed my school uniform, put on my uniform and a sweater because it was cold. I went to my parents' room, I took my money, had breakfast. I was so nervous and excited that I forgot to say to goodbye to my parents. I left as fast as possible towards the road. It was already 6:30 in the morning and my classes started at the 8 o'clock. Fortunately, the taxi picked me up 5 minutes later. The trip lasted about an hour. I fell asleep during the trip and forgot that I had to go down a few blocks before, so I had to walk back to school for almost 20 minutes. I get to school right at 8 o'clock. Luckily, my class had not started. There I meet my classmates. Unfortunately, I meet them talk webcam and not in person. I would have loved it to be like that. My next class were a lot of fun as we introduced ourselves and I go to talk about myself. as did all my classmates. The next weeks were very similar, as we all participated a lot in class. The classes were very interesting and interactive because we had the possibility to talk with my classmates while we practiced your pronunciation and learned language. I really like my Italian class because it is very similar to the Spanish language in some things, and it was easy for me learn its grammatical structure. Now I will that you how my experience at the work has been. The first day I didn't not know what to do. I arrived very early and my colleagues had not arrived yet. I really feel very strange. It is difficult to be the new employee because you don't know anyone, you don't have friends, and everyone turns to see you. That made me very nervous. I must confess that I believed that everything was simpler and that the work would not be so thick and difficult. But no, I was wrong. It is the opposite. That first day, I feel very pressured because I had a lot of work to do and it was difficult for me to learn how to use the curing machine. Besides that, I was afraid to use it because the blade is very sharp mm, and dangerous because if you don't know how to use if you cut your fingers. I had never felt so stressed before because not only was I worried about at work, but I also had to turn in some homeworks at the university. My work schedule does not benefit me at all. Since my entry time is at 7 and my departure is at the 6:40 in the afternoon. After that I have to ride my bike for 20 minutes. I get home just at 7 at night. I eat, I take a bath, and when I um, trying to look at the clock, it's already 8. I just rest a few, a few minutes and start doing my homework. It is worth mentioning that I have to travel another 20 minutes back to the neighboring town to be able to do my homework. So I only have exactly 1 hour left to be able to do my homework because the place I go to is closed at exactly 9:30. It is very frustrating because sometimes I don't have time to train in my homework. That's my I failed my English course. I really wake up doing homework and I hardly go to play with my friends anymore because I don't have time, but I also know that one day all the sacrifice will have a good result. It is not easy to study at work at the same time, but it is not something that I chose, I just have to do it. I always arrive very tired from the job. My whole body hurts, especially my back and my legs, because I'm standing at job all day. I hardly sit down. It is rarely the time that I do it. In my job, I have many colleagues. Most of them sit all day, sew the pants with their machines. Sorry, I forgot. Sometimes I am very distracted. Had no hold, you right? I work in a factory. It is responsible for making clothes, mainly pants. My weekly routine is as follows. I get up daily at 6:30 in the morning. I make my bed, I choose the clothes I will wear for the job. I go to the bathroom, I sweep my room, I brush my teeth. I go back to my room, I change clothes, have breakfast and go to the job. When I leave work, I ride my bike from home. When I arrive to my room, light my backpack, change my clothes, go to the bathroom. When I return, I wash my hands, I go to the kitchen to eat with my family. I rest few minutes, I wash my dishes, I take a shower, I get dressed and go to do my homework. That's from Monday to Friday. That's from Monday to Friday. On Saturday, I get up at 5:30 in the morning. I wake my bed. I sweep my room. I iron my uniform. I go to the bathroom. I brush my teeth. I go to my room, take my money, and go to my parents' room to say goodbye to them. I go up to the highway and take the taxi at the city. When I leave the university, I walk about 20 minutes to the city center. Once there, I take a taxi back home. When I get home, I go into my room, leave my backpack, change my clothes, go to the kitchen to eat with my family. At the end, I go to take a bath, get dressed, go to my room, rest a few minutes, and when it was 9 o'clock at night, I go to the bed and take my phone to check my social networks. Mm, on Saturdays, I get up at 7 in the morning, and like every day, I make my bed. I sit in my room. I go to the bathroom. I go to back to breakfast. And when I finish it, I started to sweep the yard. Then I watch the TV for 2 hours. And since it is 12 in the afternoon, I go to the sports unit to watch the soccer game. I come home at 2 in the afternoon. I eat and I go to do my homework. At nightfall, I take a shower, dress, and if I have time, I go out with my friends to play. That's my daily routine. My favorite hobbies are listening to music, singing, and writing songs. Maybe I am not the best, but I am proud of what I do. Not all attempt to do it. When can all do it, but not all use do it well. I am planning to release my first album officially, but it's not complete yet. I still need to write a couple of songs. When I was a child, I really liked go to the fields with my grandfather. I consider him like my father because he taught me many things that I know. Because of him, I learned to work. Now I will tell you a little about him. When he was young, he joined the army, started as a soldier, and ended up as commander of his battalion. He enrolled very young in the army, with only 15 years of age. He was the oldest of his siblings, so he left home very young to support his mother and his little brothers. His father had passed away and his mother had to work as a maid for other people. He couldn't allow that. From what he told me, he spent approximately 25 years in the army. He knew many states and places in the country. He lived for 10 years in Mexico City. There we met his wife, that is my grandmother. They were from the same town, but they didn't know each other since my grandmother moved to the city very young. After the death of my grandmother, my grandfather returned to life in the Mexico City. There he began to drink excessively to the post of getting who he was and also his family. My mother and my great grandmother went to the sea to look for him. They couldn't find his whereabouts. They went out all the possible bars and canteens until after a week they found him. He was in very bad condition. He had no bathe, no didn't eat. He had very long hair and he no remembered anything. Luckily, they were able to find him in time. They admitted him a rehabilitation clinic, and when they left, my aunt took him to the United States. There he lived for 9 years and returned to Oaxaca City 15 years ago.